Okay, so I didn't make it back for the cutting part, but I did want to hop on and just share one more kind of insider tip for why garments are so expensive, especially the ones that I sew. Um, I sew with a French lace or Nigerian or Swiss lace, whatever you want to call it, but it has a lot of sequins. It's very ornate, and I don't mind making it for myself, but it is very labor intensive. And so you want a garment and you want to have the same lace and you want to have the embroidery and the sequins. Let me show you something. When you're sewing with sequins, especially these 3D sequins like this, first of all, this is all from one sleeve. So prepare to have a few tools. Prepare to have a broom or a vacuum. Prepare to just your whole area to just be covered. Think imaginary fairy dust. That's how sequins are. But the reason why garments like this are so much more expensive is because they are labor intensive. What do I mean by labor intensive? What I mean is you have two choices when you're sewing and putting a garment together that has a ton of sequins. You can either go in with your seam ripper, and I feel like I'm just covered in sequins, but you can go with your seam ripper and you can literally take the sequins out of the seam. That's option one. That's for every piece of the pattern. It is time consuming. It would take hours. I don't have that kind of time, so the alternative and what I do is I actually buy about 15 needles. I allot about 5 per garment of that sew, not this kind. That's leather. Leather will not work. Denim needles. And I just keep these on hand because you're going to break needles. You are going to break needles sewing sequins. And if you see here, these run about $1.10 per needle, unless you order them online wholesale. But what you have, so that's your second option, is just take your denim needles and just plow through these sequins. That works fine for flat sequins that are just like a single row. But when you start getting into 3D, like sometimes what I sew, 3D, you see how it like pops up off the garment, off the fabric, your needle is not going to penetrate through all those, especially when you have the two front sides together and you're doing something like a sleeve. And so what you have to do, this is where your expense comes in. And again, it is like 11 o'clock at night, so thank you for being with me and being patient. See, I have the front sides together, so I have a layer of 3D here and single here. I can probably get through that okay, but since I've already broken 4 needles and I haven't even finished my first garment, I need to be very, very mindful. So what happens is your seamstress, if she's like me, is she has to manually turn it instead of using the foot control in order to be able to guide through that 3D flower without breaking the 2 needles on the serger. And so you can see how long this is taking and see how it kind of gets stuck there. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. And so I kind of gauge, and then I have to force it to actually do that, because most sergers also have like an auto stop feature to where, like, if it senses like some kind of resistance, it'll lock up and then it'll try, and then the needle will break. And so it's just one of those things where you have to take your time and get through these 3D ornate layers of sequins. And you can see I have to get down here and how much time that's taken in this video. So it's possible. Again, I could, I don't want to break needles, but it's really hard to get like a consistent, if you're not experienced, like where it's just going really slow. My brother will not be consistent. Like it's not like driving a car. It just kind of picks up speed. See? And I'm putting the same amount of pressure. And so it can go through the single just fine, but when you get down here and you have one on the left side and one on the right side, that's when your needles begin to break. And so if you ever wonder why these cost so much, it's because it takes us so much time. Whereas if I was just doing like a satin or a poly silk or something like that, I could just breeze through with the foot press. So I hope that makes sense, that this is why getting something costs so much. So if you really want that Viola Davis look, if you really want that elevated look when you are ministering in dance, you're going to have to realize it costs something. If you are sewing it, this is my tip for getting through it without breaking all of your needles. You just have to really take your time and allot some hours in your day in order to be able to plow through that 3D sequin. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna finish the sleeve and see, this is how I know I need to go to bed. I'm gonna finish this sleeve, put all these things back in my client's bag, and then I am going to go to sleep. But I hope you found this video helpful.